Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, love attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. We are here for our Christmas weekly energy reading. I am so pumped for the holidays. I get to spend it with my nieces and my nephews and my siblings and my mom. Some holidays, my siblings go to their in-laws, so sometimes I don't always get to spend a ton of time with them. But this year I get to spend both days with them. I'm so pumped. So I'm wishing so much love, so much joy, so much peace to all of you this week. And if anybody is grieving a loss, or maybe grief is just resurfacing in your life for some reason right now, it's natural. It's the holidays. We have this social conditioning that, this is the time of year where family's supposed to be there. So when we've lost loved ones, it can really feel like knives to the chest. It can be really painful to not have those special people physically here with us on earth. So I am giving a big hug to anybody that's dealing with that, because I definitely know what that's like in my own reality and my own bubble. What else did I want to say? There was something else I wanted to offer comfort for. It'll come back to me. Okay, let's call on our guides and see what you all need to hear this week. Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, please open up sacred space. Please only allow the highest and whitest light messages to come through. Bless me. Bless my cards. Bless my beautiful viewers. Let's get this party started. I've been a little absent on YouTube. I usually post a video at least every day or every other day, and I just have not had that creative surge to want to make videos. I sit down to film and I just feel blank. So I think it's just not time yet. But I definitely want to keep up with my weekly readings because I love doing them. And I know a lot of you guys rely on them, and it kind of steers you. It allows you to soften into where you are in your life. In this reading, I want to share a couple stories about what has happened to me since my car accident and how much I've changed, how much I've analyzed what's happened to me and realized, oh, there was a bigger meaning for it. It wasn't just me manifesting a new car. That was a tiny, tiny piece of it. There's a deeper spiritual thing that's happening to me. So I'm going to share a little bit more, probably maybe more towards the end of the reading. But oh, that's right. Sorry, I forgot. I was like, where's my Micah magic deck? I did a reading party, a Christmas party last Wednesday night up north, about an hour away. It was actually close to where I got my Bronco. And I did 9 readings. It was a cute little cafe boutique gift shop. And so I had to take my cards. I always take my cards in this lovely little fabric. It's how I transport them. It's a very sacred way to keep your cards clean, and you're not just throwing them in a bag or throwing them in a box. But I did readings that night and it was so fun. There was like a couple teenagers that I got to read. And then the lady that owns the shop had 3 of her older workers there, older employees. They were like in their 40s and 30s. So it was really fun to help them. But the cool thing is I've been magnetizing ever since my accident. I keep being magnetized to other people who've had car accidents, and they're helping me learn more about what to do, what not to do. And it's mostly people who did not take action after the accident happened. So I'm learning that I'm very proud of myself that I took action. I went to a doctor, I'm getting treated. And the few people that I talked to, they did not get treated. They did not go see anybody. And then a year later, they ended up having spinal surgery. So I'm trying not to let those conversations shift my mindset and make me project that I'm going to need spinal surgery. So I'm trying to keep a light heart about it. But I'm like, why am I magnetizing these conversations? But I think it's just, this is what our guides do. It's really beautiful. They're making sure that I keep my ducks in a row. They're making sure that I go get myself checked out. So it's almost like they instill a little bit of worry to make us think, to make us go, oh, I don't want to be like them, right? So that's the beauty of the spiritual path. We're always being brought exactly what we need when we need it. And I literally was just in the gym yesterday, and there was one of the young guys that lives here, him and his girlfriend. They're so cute. They have a cute golden retriever, and he's always in the gym. And we just talk for hours when we're in there as we're working out. We both just work out and we both just talk. And he was telling me that he had, I think, blunt force trauma to his neck in like some sort of fight. He was doing like a fight, like some sort of organized fighting. And he ended up doing something to his C3 to C5, and he had to get surgery a year later. He had like a blood infection or something too. So he just was guiding me to a certain physical therapist. It was just so cool how our guides really do bring us exactly what we need and the conversations that we need. I thought if you jumped out. All right, Spirit, if I'm supposed to get those two again, make them jump out again. Okay, here we go. Let's get started. First card. All right, we have trust the timing. Second card, birds before land. So if you're not familiar with this concept, birds before land is when you're out at sea and you're like, I can't wait to go to this new country. I can't wait until we dock and we get there. We're going by boat and we don't know where land is. We're like, are we close? Are we not close? And all of a sudden you start to see birds, and that's an indicator that you're getting close to land. So birds before land in the spiritual community, in the manifestation community, is before your manifestation comes in on a Friday, on a Monday or Tuesday, you might start to see people experiencing your manifestation. You might start to feel it in your body. You might start to feel like that person is coming and asking you out on a date. It's a very strange energy. You just start to see it and it's not here yet. So I always like to tell people, don't get jealous if other people are getting new houses, getting new partners, making $1 million, and that's been your desire. Say, I'm next. Okay. So birds before land. If you can remember one thing, it's I'm next. Okay. When you see that phrase, think I'm next. The universe is showing me. See, remember I said somebody's going to be showing up at, I don't know if I said showing up at your door, but somebody's going to be asking you out. Trust the timing. And I just heard that if somebody is getting a divorce or if somebody's leaving a relationship, they're actually doing it. If you're wanting somebody to leave a relationship, they're actually going to do it. So the invitation is going to come. Tell them how you feel now. Yep, there you go. They're going to be coming in and telling you how they feel. They're going to say, I'm sorry. They're going to say, I love you. They're going to say, you've always been it. Or they're going to say, like, I have to get to know you more. I'm so intrigued by you. You're such a unique person and I want to know more about you. Come out of your cave. The universe adores you. So when I get the universe adores you card, I think of this as like the red carpet effect. Like you're being shown every next step. And it's beautiful because you're like, oh, wow, I don't have to do everything. I don't have to figure everything out. The universe is literally loving me so much. It's bringing me the $5,000 to start this business. It's bringing me the right person to get certified in this thing, right? And come out of your cave, it's kind of like a, don't be scared, go and do it. Like when you're getting that breadcrumb to go, start the thing or the invitation, come out of your cave and say yes. Do not be too scared. There's somebody that wants to spend time with you. They want to work with you. They want to nurture you. I don't know if that's a specific message for somebody, but there's a message here that feels like somebody's coming in with an invitation. They're going to be telling you how they feel and they want to work with you in some way. And you're going to sense it before it's happening. You're going to feel their energy coming. Make the change and you will feel amazing. A lot of times, here's an example. I was going to say a lot of times we have to clear the clutter of our lives, of our homes, of our bodies. And I don't know if you guys know this, but we have like 125 fragments of our soul, right? So when we incarnate into earth, our little cute baby bodies can only hold so much, right? So maybe 5 fragments of our soul is in our body as a child. And then life starts to add trauma, it starts to add pain, it starts to add conditioning, programs, suffering. Well, that now hinders those 5 fragments. So when we awaken, we start to delayer, we start to release the traumas, we start to dive into healing work. And when we do that, we're making change, right? We're going to feel amazing once we create that change, once we go to that healer, once we sit with that grief. And what happened to me spiritually with my accident was I remember sitting in the hospital after it happened. I was in the waiting room and I was on the phone with one of my friends and I was crying. And I just kept telling her, like, I don't know why I'm crying. Like, yes, I know it's trauma. And yes, I know I almost just died, but it's a different kind of cry. I told her, I was like, I feel like something left my body. Like, I feel like a heart expansion. I feel like my heart is open and I just want to love everybody. And it's almost like the accident, like the blunt force of my car hitting another car, like 55, 50 miles per hour. I don't remember how fast I was going. I think I was around 50. Um, but full speed, like no time to stop. I slammed on my brakes and then we hit like instantly. So if you think about that force, I felt like something left me. Like it felt like my grief, like my deep pain with the loss of my daughter, sweet little Micah. I feel like it left. Or maybe the seatbelt like created an opening in my high heart and in my heart chakra, which is the chest area. Sometimes trauma to a certain part of the body opens up the energy of where the pain has been held for the last 12 years, right? So I was sitting in the hospital, like sobbing, like going, why am I crying like this? Like it's a different kind of cry. Like nobody died. It's not like a I'm grateful I'm alive cry. It was like I don't know. It was bliss. It was happiness. I love this experience. And it was also a little bit of sadness that my body just went through that. Like I was sad for my physical body that I'm like, oh my God, I can, take a higher perspective of myself and see my little Michelle driving her little Jeep all happy and then boom. And I was crying for her. And that was another weird experience. It was like the accident bumped me out of my body so that I could see more of me. And when we make those changes, whether they're in our control or not, those fragments come online. So if I only had 5 fragments of my soul with each ego death or with each trauma, it jolts us and it bumps the trauma out, right? And yes, the accident brought on some more trauma, right? I definitely have a little bit more trauma to work through now because I have these new thoughts and feelings about my experience. But I'm grateful because I do think it bumped a lot of my old grief out of my chest and it opened my chest up to feel more, to see more. And when that happens, if you think about your chest opening, not just with an accident, with a heart opening, like spiritually, your chest opens. Now you have more space, right? So the universe is like, okay, it's portal time. We're going to open up a portal in her body and we're going to drop in more fragments of her soul because she can hold it now. She has space now. So if you're on a healing journey and if you're doing best sessions or energetic sessions or somatic sessions or EMDR, you're doing all these things to heal yourself. Well, every time you do that, you are creating space for more fragments of your soul to drop in. And they say if you look at your life like a timeline, I think our soul has this certain destiny where we know when those fragments are going to come online. Like for me, when I started my YouTube channel, that was a fragment that I needed to start the channel. Like I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the tools to channel. I didn't have everything. So I needed to go through something painful to open me up to start YouTube. And guess what it was? It was my dad passing away. My dad passing away was one of the most painful events of my life because after my daughter passed away in 2012, my dad was there for me. Like I had my dad, right? He was my best friend. He was the closest one in my family that I was connected to out of all of my siblings, out of my parents, out of my cousins, aunts, uncles. My dad was my thing, right? And I remember saying to all of my college friends before I dealt with any grief, like if my dad ever died, I would die. Like I would always say, like I'm exiting if he exits. So when my daughter passed away, I was so grateful to go hug my dad. I would text my dad and be like, I need a hug. And he'd be like, all right, garage is open, come over. He'd be in the garage smoking a cigarette or cutting the lawn. And he would say, pop in, I'll give you a hug. And I would just go hug him and I would feel so good for a little bit. And then it would re-energize me to go back out into the world and to continue on with my mission. But the death of him really opened up a different layer of me. I wrote an ebook after he passed away. I dove into my creativity. I created Micah Magic after he passed away. Created my YouTube channel, my website, my coaching business. So everything happened after my dad passed. My daughter passed 12 years ago, so I didn't have that activation after she passed. So there's something unique there about when parents pass away. There's definitely, no matter what age they are, they are your caretaker. They seem like God when we're little, right? They're like these big humans that are taking care of us. So we see them as God. So when, like I talked about with those 125 fragments, your soul is on a timeline. And when we hit these trauma marks, when we hit these deaths, these rebirths, and the death could be an accident. It's a death to the old you. So this car accident for me on a deeper spiritual level was a whole nother opening. Another fragment of my soul has come online. And that's why I feel blank. Like I don't know, because it doesn't feel comfortable to do what I used to do. I'm different now. I drive slower. My mind is slower. I move slower. I'm more present. I am not in a rush. I am not running from anything. I'm not reaching for coffee. I feel like I'm more online and I can't describe it. It's just an energy of where I feel more connected. I feel more whole. I feel grounded. I feel rooted. So, a lot of times, these changes that are coming in for us, we can't control them. And you want to experience that painful event because it's changing who you are. It's allowing you to come out of your cave a little bit more. And I know you might think I'm crazy for saying that you want pain, but pain is your path. It's your door that's going to open to your next timeline. So if you're dealing with something right now, number one, I'm not diminishing your pain. I'm saying sit with it, love yourself, cry it out. Grief is awful. Accidents are awful. Loss, financial loss, job loss, illness, everything is here and it's painful and it's real. And I always say this on my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome, like, subscribe. But we can have both. You can have the spiritual perspective of saying, okay, my soul chose this lesson and I'm here to experience it. My daughter came in to wake me up and I can see the higher perspective. But then there's this human piece of me that is in deep pain every week of my entire life because my body remembers having a baby and losing her. And one of the things that I got a best session yesterday. I did 5 different treatments in one session, which is a lot for me. Normally, I don't have that many things to treat, but this accident opened up all kinds of wounds. And one morning I was sobbing, crying, going, I can't save her. I can't save her. I can't save her. And I was wailing in my new Bronco, crying and crying. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this part of me was so deeply hidden and I couldn't save my daughter. And the human part of me held her when she passed away, and I couldn't do anything about it. And that part of me was coming online, and I was starting to feel those feelings, and it was scary as AF. Like it was so scary to feel that. I immediately texted my mentor and I was like, I'm going to go crazy. Like, please, I need a session. I need a session. So we did it last night and I just released so much and I feel so much better. And I don't feel like it's my responsibility to save anybody anymore. But as a mother, it's our innate nature to want to protect and provide for our children. And when we are forced to be in a situation where we're watching somebody that we deeply, deeply love, they're literally dwindling in our hands and they're just a baby. Like my daughter was skin and bones when she passed away. And I was not online for that. And now I'm online and now I'm really feeling the pain and the gravity of what that does to the human psyche and to the human nervous system. So I think this accident, like the blunt force to my chest, was opening up that layer that I had deeply, deeply suppressed because it was so painful. So these things, the pain is good, right? Like I don't wish that upon anybody, but the pain is showing me a new layer of me. And I'm so grateful for best sessions. And if you guys are not treating your nervous system, I highly, highly recommend somatic work, nervous system work, find a practitioner near you, do EMDR. Like there's so many different modalities out there and there's so many people that work and do it online too. My mentor does best online. So if you guys want a best session, hit me up in the comments. I'll send you her link. She's actually like booked out till March. I'm so proud of her. She's like crushing it. I send all of my clients to her. Because I can only take my clients so far. I'm not trained in that. But these painful jolts to our body are here to allow the opening to happen so the next fragment can come online. And I believe that we all want to be here and we all want to be actualized. We all want to see our potential. We all want to know, like, what did I really come here to do? Like, what is going to make me feel this experience the most? What is going to make me feel so happy and proud of myself? And I believe we need the pain to push the button to open I just said the canvas. So maybe the spirit is saying we're a work of art, like to open up the canvas to paint a new photo, to paint a new picture, to paint, I said photo, to paint a new reality for yourself. And we have to kind of jolt out the old us because that's not who we are. That pain in me was from a past experience in 2012, and it had been lying dormant inside my body. So I needed this car accident to get it out, to create space so that I can come out of my cave and I can be myself and I can, shine my light in a different way. And I still feel a little lost. Like I don't know what that looks like. And maybe it's just continuing to do these readings and continuing to do my coaching program. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm starting my 3rd coaching program in January, and it's going to be filled with more teachings like what I just shared with you, because I've learned so much in the past month. And a big piece of that was I manifested this, right? Like I called it in. And I'm not saying I'm going to help you call in chaos, but I'm going to help you understand that if chaos has already happened in your life, I'm going to help you manifest your way out of it. Because literally this whole month has been magic. The only icky part was the accident itself, but everything else has been so magical. Okay, moving on. Waiting for the perfect wave. This is the 3 of Wands card in the tarot. It's like a woman holding 3 wands and she's looking at the ocean and she's like, do I go? Do I pick up that wave? No. She's literally waiting and she's not settling. She's not going to waste her energy going after a small wave, right? She has value. She is that queen energy. She's like the black cat, right? They call, when I teach my feminine clients, black cat energy. It's kind of like we sit back, we're protected by the universe, we're protected by our guides, and we are in that queendom. We do not chase, we attract. And a black cat represents protection, and it puts up grids around your home. And that's kind of like what the queen does. She puts up grids around her energy field, and she's very, very, very discerning about who she lets in. And then we have switch up your routines and a limiting belief is blocking you. So let's get clarification on that. What limiting belief? I'm going to pull some tarot. What limiting belief? Okay, we have 4. Let's see what these say. We have an amazing opportunity. The Ace of Fire, Ace of Wands, an amazing opportunity. Be bold, courageous, and optimistic. Now is the time to take action. Do what you're passionate about. So I always like this card, but it's like a little boy. If you look at all the little different things in the photo, there's a dragon. There's a plant in his lap, which represents growth, and he's a novice starting something new. He's holding up his tiny little wand. He's lighting the way for himself. He's around a lot of greenery, trees, nature. So this is somebody who needs to be in nature to get their new ideas, to get the new drive to move forward. But this is a little boy. So keep that in mind, that like waiting for the perfect wave, a limiting belief is blocking you. Maybe you think you're not good enough to start this thing, or maybe you're scared to rise to the occasion. My guides just made me think of a conversation that I had with my chiropractor. So I was on his table and we were talking and he was working on my neck. So his head was like right here and he was reversed, obviously, like up looking, not up his nose, but at his eyes. But we were just talking and I was talking to him about like masculine and feminine energies. And I don't think he's ever learned about it before. And I was like, yeah, usually the masculine's core wound is they fear not being able to rise to the occasion. And the core feminine wound is we feel like we're too much. So when we have emotions and we're this like raging river, the masculine is the riverbed. The masculine holds us as we have our emotions. And our fear is that we're too rough. Our waters are too rough. He's one day going to wake up and say, she's too much. I can't handle her. So that's our fear. And the masculine, I was telling him because he's going through some changes in his life. And I was saying, yeah, like your fear might be that you can't rise to the occasion, that you can't perform, that you can't actualize who you are. Or if it's regarding a feminine or a spouse or something, it's the fear that you're not going to be able to pleasure her or please her or take care of her the way that she wants you to. So to me, I see this as kind of like it's a limiting belief. That's a core wound. And once we identify, okay, like it's clear, this is a wound for everybody. I'm not going to read too much into it. I'm going to step forward and I'm just going to take it day by day and trust. And I don't know if you guys just saw that, but the card kind of like just slid out of my hand like that. It's almost like letting go of the need to control the situation and saying, you know what? I trust God, spirit, the universe to move me to take the right actions, to be there for my woman, to be there for my man. And I'm not going to let the fear mongering thoughts say that, oh, I can't do it, or she's too good for me, or I can't live up to her expectations. Meanwhile, she's over there thinking, I'm too much for him. He's going to leave me. So it's like they're both in their wounding thinking these thoughts, and they need to just drop the ego and just show up and be present with each other. And then we have the wheel card. Interesting. A fresh new start or the end of delays, sudden or unexpected progress, a very positive change in your life, travel, or a new vehicle. I got my new Bronco. Oh, I have to tell you guys this. So for 2 weeks, well, it hasn't really been 2 weeks. I guess I got my Bronco on 12/12, the portal. How cool is that? So I just took back the license plates to my Jeep. I guess it was 3 days ago, 4 days ago. So today's the 22nd. So maybe it was like the 18th or something. So for like 7 days, right? Let's say 6 or 7 days from the 12th to the 18th or 19th, I had been driving my Bronco with the license plates of my Jeep, which was in a crazy, terrible accident. The license plate were behind my driver's seat, tucked into the pocket. And I kept getting into the Bronco and I would have a little PTSD. I would be driving and I would be really scared of like if a car was coming up behind me, I would like move over. And then if cars were coming at me, I would really, really slow down because I'm like, is this guy going to turn in front of me? Because that's what happened in my accident. I was going 55 and a woman was oncoming and she turned into a hospital in the middle of a green light. Like it was my green light and she turned. So she did something very out of normal, out of the ordinary, abnormal, unexpected. So now my nervous system is on guard, waiting for somebody to do something out of the ordinary. So people not following traffic patterns. So I noticed that I kept feeling that way. And I had to drive up to that event last Wednesday night. It was an hour away. It was a rainy night. And I had the worst anxiety. My legs were shaking. Every time I get in the Bronco, I'm shaking. I'm like, oh no, is this like a new thing that I'm going to have to deal with? And it just surfaced this week. And I drove all the way up to the event. And then I had the conversation with the woman telling me about her accident and how she had spinal surgery a year later. So now I'm even more frazzled driving home at 10 o'clock at night in the rain in this Bronco that I don't feel safe in. And I'm like, what is going on with me? I was like, this is really bad. This accident, I thought it was like okay, but now it's not okay. And like on the 18th or 19th, I saw the license plate in the back of my driver's seat. And I was like, huh. I was like, maybe the energy from the accident is making my seat feel very, very uncomfortable, making me feel like I'm still in the energy of the accident. So what I did was I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the license plates back to the DMV. I'm not going to procrastinate any longer. So I grabbed the plates. I pull up at the DMV. I'm holding the plates in my hand. My whole left arm, even down into like my armpit, was like shaking. I was like, holy shit. And I dropped them. I dropped them in my Bronco. And I was like, what? It felt like electricity. And I was like, oh my God, this is what's been driving me nuts. This is what's been making me have this anxiety. So I go and pick them up. I'm like, all right, Michelle, just suck it up. cleanse them. I did Reiki symbols on them. I was doing all the things I could. I walk into the DMV, full body anxiety. And I'm like, okay, these license plates need to get the hell out of my hands. So I'm waiting in line. Of course, there's like 7 people in line. I get to the counter, and this one guy who's kind of being like nasty to everybody in front of me. And I get to him, and he looks at me with kind of like a negative look. And I was like, hi, sir. I was like, how are you today? And I just was really sweet and really kind. He lit up and he was like, are you just dropping off your plates? I said, yes, sir. He goes, okay, here's your receipt. Be on your way. Thanks for making me smile. I was like, oh my gosh, that was so easy. Meanwhile, I wanted to be like, yo, bro, clean your hands after you hold those plates. So I walk out, and for the first time since my accident, I got in the Bronco. I dropped the windows. It was like 40 degrees outside. It was cold. I dropped the windows. I'm blaring music and I'm dancing. So it is wild, you guys, that the energy that certain items can hold, like glasses, shirts, jewelry, just anything that's been in an icky situation, it is holding the energy of that ick. And we're literally living with it. So think about your house right now and how many items could be in your house that you're not even aware of that carry a low vibration. Like those license plates in the back of my Bronco, they were 100% causing my anxiety. Since that day that I dropped them off to the DMV, I have not had an ounce of fear driving. Where every day before that, I was literally shaking. I called my mentor for a best session, and we still did the best session yesterday. But I even got to her at the session. I'm sitting on her massage table. I'm like, Anna, I was like, you're not going to believe this. I was like, you're probably the only person in the planet that would believe me. But I was like, my license plates were in my Bronco the whole time I had the anxiety. As soon as I gave them up and dropped them off, anxiety, poof, gone. She goes, girl, she goes, I can't tell you how many times I've had that experience in my life, and I had nobody to tell. And she's in her 50s. So I feel so sorry for her that she's been so spiritually awakened and so open her whole life. And she never had somebody like me or a mentor. I know she has mentors, but it can be really lonely. And you can feel like we did. One of my best treatments was paranoia. Because if you guys are sensitive like me, right, and we have these gifts, we become paranoid because we are feeling everything and everyone. And now we're like, wait, is that mine? Is it not? Is this the right person? I don't know if I should go with this doctor, because the mind will create all these stories along with your sensitivities. So we become paranoid freaks. And they're beautiful freaks, but I'm paranoid as hell. So these best sessions, you can get treated for your paranoia. You can get treated to let the nervous system know, like, it's safe, Michelle. You don't have to be scared. Your guides will lead you to the next thing, and you don't have to question it. You don't have to be paranoid about how you're feeling. So just a little lesson there about the license plates, about paranoia. If you're gifted like me, it is hard to live life in this open lifestyle when we're spiritually awakened and we're going into our healing and we're dealing with our trauma, because the more, like I said, the more you get smacked down with pain in this lifetime through loss, through grief, financial loss, lawsuits, job loss, anything that's like hitting your nervous system and making you feel so terrible, that's considered pain. And it is a force to the nervous system to open up space so that you can find more compassion, so that you can be more forgiving, more loving. And the wheel clicks and turns when we are opening up more, right? I was telling my mentor about my paranoia, and I was just like, I don't know, like I'm seeing the chiropractor and I have all these thoughts like maybe I shouldn't have my spine being adjusted when it was just in a severe trauma. Like maybe that's not good for it. Maybe I should just work on the fascia around my spine to get oxygen to the spine and not manipulate it. And I was having all these thoughts and I just was questioning it and I felt paranoid. And now I forget where I was going with that statement. Oh, that's what she said. She goes, she looked at me and she goes, your ego's talking an awful lot tonight. And I just started laughing. I was like, you bitch. My ego is such a bitch. She goes, we need to quiet down that ego. She's like, you're questioning everything and your mind sounds really manic. And I was like, well, it is because my body's not well. And when my body's not well, I'm trying to make it well and trying to make all the right decisions. So she goes, Michelle, she's like, your pattern is right before you level up in your life with your business, with your relationship. She goes, your ego gets so loud and so bitchy and so controlling and so paranoid. She goes, pay attention. She goes, you're about to level up, babe. And she started laughing. She's like, I'm so proud of you. She's like, let's just observe these thoughts and say, yes, your ego is falling away. And the new wheel is going to turn because everything is clicked into place. You've opened up the channel. You came out of your cave. You're making the change. You're feeling amazing. You're getting rid of the limiting beliefs that are blocking you. And now it's time to level up. And talk about Black Cat Queen energy. Holy shit, you guys. How funny is that? We literally just talked about queens and black cats. Okay, it says brilliant, talented, independent, controlling. There's nothing you can't do. Believe in yourself. Never underestimate your ability to make your dreams come true. The need for balance between career and personal life. Okay, so this could be a message for somebody out there who is realizing that she can have that queendom energy where she doesn't chase, she attracts. But she's realizing that sitting on her throne, she has to do the work. She has to literally say, okay, universe, open me up. Actually, I just heard she doesn't do that. She's already been through it all. And now she's a guide for others, but she's an example. Like the way she's sitting there with her wand, with her staff, whatever you want to call it. She's like, I know the way, everybody. Come follow me. Come join me. It's that leadership energy. She knows very well how to balance her social life with her work, with her passions, with her joy. Wow. And then we have 10 of Wands, which is like the complete opposite. It's working too hard or too many hours, the need for balance in life. Let others help you. Health problems due to stress. So this is like kind of like a surrender card. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so over this. So here is two different women, right? She's younger, the queen's younger, this woman's older. So it's like before you get to the age where you're overworked, you're exhausted, you're aging, your cortisol levels are through the roof, you're not sleeping. Maybe you're like me and you've just been through something really traumatic and difficult. I think it was yesterday, I slept till 11:30. That is like absurd for me. I didn't even realize I slept that late. I woke up and it was like 11:26 or something. And I was like, oh my God, what day is it? Do I have any client calls? Did I miss anything? Because I never set an alarm. I wake up with the sun. I slept till 11:30, you guys. So I think my body, they say with a car accident, the adrenaline is so it's produced so fast and so quick that it lingers in your system for a couple weeks. And then maybe the third or fourth week, it starts to die down. And that's when all the pain surfaces, all the ailments start to come online, and the psyche changes. You start to have flashbacks, you start to have memories. So sleeping, I don't know if you guys know this, but meditation and sleep are two of the best ways to heal the nervous system, because you're actually giving it time to get out of that high cortisol release, which is the stress hormone. And you're telling the body, hey, bud, hey, babe, we're safe right now. We don't need to be in fight or flight or freeze. We can just be still and calm down. And even when I was having the anxiety about driving the other night, my mentor texted me and she's like, Michelle, do your central channel breathing for 5 minutes. Keep doing it until your legs stop shaking. So central channel breathing is when you picture a channel coming up from your crown chakra. And as you're breathing in, you're pulling air from that channel down into you, down through every chakra and out through your feet, right? And then there's another channel outside at the bottom of your feet. And then you're hitting that edge, right? And then when you exhale, you're pulling the energy back up your system. So it's a constant flow of energy up and down, up and down. And what this does, it tells the nervous system we have plenty of oxygen, we have plenty of blood, we are calm, we have all the nutrients we need, energy is flowing, we're calm. Because if we were breathing fast and short breaths from the chest, that means we're being chased by a tiger. But in this case, we're doing central breathing. We're going through the central hub of our body, the nervous system, through the spine, and we're breathing up and down, and it is relaxing us. And a lot of us are in this energy and we're stressed and we're never doing that type of breathing. So the body never knows that it's calm and that it can actually rest. So more illnesses sometimes get birthed through that process. And they just made me think of the two conversations that I had with people who have had accidents before and they had surgeries years later. It's because they never dealt with the actual stress from the trauma, and the energy of the pain and the emotional trauma from the accident was living in their neck, and they never released it. They never cried it out. So that built and built and built, and then it caused more damage to their spine. So I'm holding that belief system for myself that in the last week I have cried every single day. I have grieved for my body. I have grieved for my daughter. I have let the emotions out of me. I've held my neck and done Reiki every single night. I'm doing everything that I can to nurture my body. And that central breathing is reminding me that I'm safe. And I'm sharing all of my personal experiences in this reading right now because it's helping you relate it to your life and how this, where are you stressed? What have you been through that was really traumatic that you haven't told the body, hey, we're safe, bud. We're good. I love you so much and I'm going to take care of you. You know, another great thing that you guys can do is called Abhyanga. Abhyanga is self-massage. You get a really lovely like coconut oil or peppermint oil, and you take the bottle and you put it in whatchamacallit, a cup of hot water, and you warm it. And then you pump the oil into your hand and you sit in front of the mirror, and you can have just a towel on if you want. And you're just massaging the body with the oil, and you're telling the body, we're safe. I love you. This feels so good. And you're putting the oil just everywhere, all over you, right? You're doing your neck and you're just caressing yourself like a lover is massaging you. And if you can do this a couple times a week, you're telling your body that it's safe and that it's loved and it's nurtured. And it is a really wonderful practice. It's an Ayurvedic practice, if you guys weren't aware of where it came from. But I started doing Abhyangas like, I guess it was in September when I first, or August when I first learned about Ayurveda. I think it was August. It's an incredible practice. Wow. Yeah. Okay. We have hardship. May I embrace what's happening right now, as baffling or painful as it is. Help me, God, to trust where you are guiding me. I am yours. And you guys know my cards always match my outfits. All the pink and the green, how perfect. Hardship. Trust the storm. We know that there's always a rainbow after, but like I said, this pain has to happen for all of us. We all have to experience that trauma to the heart, that loss of a loved one, that accident, all those different things that I've been talking about. We have to go through that in order to get more fragments of who we are. We have to get out the old energy. And yes, people might be saying, well, wait, Michelle, like grief is adding more trauma to the system. You're not releasing anything. And I say it's actually the opposite. When the heart is shattered from a loss of a loved one, of a spouse, of a child, of a parent, of a sibling, your heart is ripped open in that moment. You are deeply in pain. And whether you know it or not, that's an opening, and more light and more love is now able to enter. Okay, so it's literally like cracking open this whole well of water that you didn't know was underneath you. And you've been thirsty for years. And now you have this whole well underneath you, and you can just go scoop up water anytime you want. But the thing that broke that land open to find the well was really painful, which is usually grief and loss. But to have endless water for the rest of your life to nurture you, that's the benefit. And to me, that well represents your heart. That water represents love. So the love you've been searching for has been inside of you your whole life. And the person that left, that transition, that passed away, they sacrificed their time here so that you could experience that well for the rest of your life. Because I know when my daughter passed, I can't even tell you guys the amount of magic and the amount of synchronicity and the amount of love that I have felt post loss that I would have never felt if she was never here. And that is why I'm so confident and able to say, like, I'm okay with my loss. I truly am. I have sad days and stuff, but I would much rather have the magic of our journey and feel her energy than be in like a mundane life, not appreciating the humans around me. So these hardships are literally showing us what we're made of. It's opening us up. Okay, I don't know how long we've been going, but I feel kind of guided to stop soon. We're going to do an animal card, and then we're going to do one of my cards from my butterfly deck. I forget the name of this deck. Sorry, I feel guided to look. Thank you. Got it. It's the Spirit Messages Daily Guidance Oracle deck by John Holland. All right, let's see. Spirit, what message do you want us to hear? I'm sticking out. Give back. Today is the day to cast aside normal routines and make your main purpose to serve. It is about giving back without any thoughts or expectations of getting anything in return. Reach out and touch other people's spirits. Oh, I love that. As it's highly likely that someone really needs it today. I think this goes with the hardship. So this might not be, this message might not mean that you guys are going to go through hardship, but it might mean that somebody around you is, and they need your light. You've already been through it. You know how to handle it. So it's time to give back. You can see it a little bit closer. And this was one of my favorite things to do post loss, like after I'd been through my grief and then I'd see somebody else like lost somebody. I was like, yes, this is my opportunity to show up for them because I know what that feels like. 2 months later, when everybody's forgotten about the loss, that's when I send the flowers. That's when I send a necklace with the loved one's initials on it. I'm always giving when I know that the rest of the world has forgotten about that person who's suffering. That's when I show up for my people. So that's a message for all of you. Show up for your people when they least expect it. It's the most meaningful. Okay, final message. We're going to do some spirit animals from Kim Kranz. I do a whole spread for 2020 for the next year. I do an animal for every single month of the whole year, and they're always so spot on. Throat is a little raspy. Merry Christmas. I got my green and my red. I did not decorate for Christmas this year because of my car accident. I just did not. I had so many moving parts. I didn't have a minute to breathe. And speaking of my accident, there's the Bronco is, there's a horse. That's their emblem all over it. So I have a horse on my steering wheel. I have a horse on the back seat, the back of all my seats, and it's momentum. I see it as momentum is coming. Hop on the horse. This is all about strength training, having routines. When you're going through the hardship, you need some sort of routine to ground you down. And the horse is saying, I'll be your ground. Hop on me. I'll take you where you need to go, but just take care of yourself in the process. Wow, we have 3, and I'm like burping like crazy. Maybe because I just took my drink, but it's not carbonated. This is, I forgot to tell you guys what this is. This is the Reds from Organifi. It's the red drink. It's like an energy drink, but it's very, very healthy. I think it's got cordyceps. It's got red beet juice, lots of good stuff. There's fire ant. So somebody is stewing over these hardships. You're stewing over a situation and you're not finding compassion for yourself through the process. This is usually self-hate. This is usually somebody just pissed off. They're just angry and it's hurting you. And my Instagram just lit up. So somebody is really upset. Okay, and it's hurting you. Like I said, it's a fiery energy. And when we have fire in our system, they can show up as boils, they can show up as inflammation, arthritis, eczema, anything with heat, anything the body is trying to expel too much heat. It's because you're angry on the inside. Okay, now we have the hawk and the beaver. So to me, this is a lovely ending to this reading. So the beaver and the hawk, the beaver is like that masculine energy that he works so hard until a project is done. He's like, I'm not giving up. I'll work day and night. You can see he's working into the night here. And then the hawk is all about the higher perspective. I'm actually going to read this one to you guys. I don't think I have my book here, so I'm going to have to grab it on my phone. But I have them all saved on my phone. But let's see what the hawk says. I feel like this is going to be important for somebody. So final message. Hawk, watchful, all-seeing, messenger of divinity. The sharp eyes of the hawk watch our every move. This keen-eyed bird has the ability to see every little detail as well as the bigger picture. When this card appeared, fate has its eyes on you, and the winds are shifting. It is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. The message should not be taken lightly. Though it may seem small or insignificant, it will eventually redirect your course. When in balance, sees clearly, intuitive. When out of balance, sees too much and is suspicious, the paranoia that I was talking about. And then to bring into balance, a perspective shift. Okay, so the final message there is somebody's going through a perspective shift, and you have to trust that wherever you're being led, like that accident for me, I had to shift my perspective and I have to say, okay, this happened for a reason. What's the deeper thing that's going on within me? What am I letting go of? And then there's also news. Somebody might be getting news this week, and it's good news. It's not bad news. So keep that in mind. Remember, we have the invitation is coming soon. And as you can tell, this is a different kind of reading. A lot of times my readings are all about manifestations dropping in, money's coming in. It doesn't say any of that here. So this week might be more of a slow week where you're coming out of your cave, you're understanding why things had to happen the way they did, you're unblocking some of your limiting beliefs, you're realizing that you're attracting and you're not chasing. Things are clicking into place. You might be traveling somewhere, you might be getting a new car like me. An invitation is coming, and there's news upon the hawk's wings. The hawk is going to be bringing you some news. Like I said early on in this reading, the universe adores you. So the universe is wanting you to feel that love and connection that you desire. So somebody might be coming in, sharing news upon their wings about how they love you and how they want more of you in their life. Or maybe they want to work with you. Maybe it's business related, because we did get the Ace of Wands, which is all about passion work, being a novice at something new. Or this could be this little boy who's coming in and he's a sweet inner child inside of a wonderful masculine man that wants to light up your world in a new way. So make the change and you'll feel amazing. Hop on the horse, let it take you to your desires. All right, lovies, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you want to book a reading with me, everything is in the comments in the description box below. I'm starting my group coaching program with 7 to 10 women at the start of January. We're going to start between the 1st and the 15th. I haven't picked a final date yet, but I'm going to start taking people as of right now. So if you want to be in my inner circle, we're going to be on Zoom once a week for 6 weeks. And we're going to be doing readings. I'm going to give each one of them an all game experience. If you've heard me talk about the all game, it's very like a secret type of board game that you can only play with a certified guide. And I got certified this past summer. So that's going to be an extra treat this time that has not been in my previous programs. The girls in my last program just got a glimpse of it. We never played like a full game. And some of them paid for it later and they wanted to like actually pay for a whole session. So we did that. But in this new group coaching program, we're going to be doing card pulls. We're going to be doing coaching. We're going to be diving into our limiting beliefs. I'm going to literally teach you guys how to accelerate your journey, how to get you on your mission, how to help you heal. I'm going to refer you to my mentor and give you discounts with her. And then we're also going to have the all game experience. So this new coaching program is going to be slightly different. There's more in it, which is going to be so beneficial for you because you're going to feel so held, so seen, and so safe. And you're going to think, wow, like this is the one thing that I needed that's been missing in my life. I needed a coach. I needed a healer. I needed somebody to guide me with what I'm going through because these hardships are hard to deal with. We cannot do it alone. We need a group of supportive women to say, hey, I've been there too. And this is what I did. And maybe you could try this and maybe it'll work. And we will hold your hand as you go through that process. Or it could be just a completely elevating experience where you're just like, my life is good. Now I just want to enhance it. I want to see who I can become. So that's what we're going to do in this program. It's called Soul Accelerator. Link is in the comments. Sign up now, reserve your spot because the spots will fill up fast. You know, my last group filled up in 3 days. So make sure you guys jump in. And remember, when you invest in yourself, you're telling the universe, like you're handing the money out saying, I love myself so much that I'm willing to pour into me, because what I'm going to learn in the 6 weeks is going to pour into my next 30 years. We are changing who you are. So think about this. If you're spending a couple $1,000s on furniture in your house, yes, you're comfortable and you're sitting on it, but it's not adding value to your life. This type of thing is going to change who you are. It's going to make you a better mom, a better sibling, a better parent, a better loved one, a better spouse. So think about that. When you're paying for a healer or for coaching, you're investing in the next 40 some years of your life. It's changing your future. Okay. So never, ever second guess whether you should spend money on yourself to grow yourself. It is way more important than a couch. It is way more important than clothing, than a car. You're changing who you are. Okay. So remember that. That's one of the strongest lessons that I teach, because I needed to learn that lesson because I was very resistant to spending money on coaches and healers. But now that I literally have transformed so much and I'm so free and I'm able to handle things with ease and grace, it's because they gave me the tools. They instilled them in me. And without those people, I would not be here doing what I'm doing. So sign up if you want that for yourself, right? I'm all about self-love, and our train is moving, whether you're coming or not. I'm still going to be doing this. So please support yourself, whether it's with me or somebody else. I just want you all to actualize. I want you all to see your potential, to see that you can be as free as me and the other people out there that you're admiring. We really are living in, a mindset of freedom. Like, I don't feel bound by my thoughts. After my accident, I did. And that's why I went to my mentor. I paid her to help me. So that's what we're here for. So use us. Okay. All right, lovies, have a wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful holiday. If you don't celebrate Christmas, happy Hanukkah, whatever holiday you're celebrating right now, happy New Year. I hope it's the best week ever. And if there's no holidays where you are and it's just a simple, lovely week, make it awesome. Go celebrate yourself. Do something good for yourself. Do those abiyangas. Get that peppermint oil. Peppermint oil is my favorite. All right, lovies, I will see you next time. All right, peace out.